I'd like to call this meeting of the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners for 1 May 2023 to order there. It's good to see all of you. And as usual, we'll be starting our meeting out with an invocation. This particular evening, Pastor Randy Hester, Community Baptist Church in Reidsville, is going to deliver that. And so if you'd all rise and remain standing, after which Commissioner Houston will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you for the opportunity. Let's pray. Father, we come to you this night. We know that you are watching over us and watching and interested in this meeting. So we have one request for this time right now. And I just pray that you would bring just bring wisdom into this meeting. The decisions, the decisions that have to be made, determinations, considerations. Lord, just guide these things. I thank you for these men who are on this council. I'm thankful for the service that they give to our community, to our county. I'm thankful for the dedication that they have and the commitment they've given to us as members of this county and this community. I believe every single one of them have a desire to see good done for this county, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the men and women who help support this council and give information and input so that the right, correct, and best decisions can be made. Lord, my prayer for this council and for them tonight and really as they work together is that they would have a unity of spirit, not a unison. And I was thinking about that this morning on the way over here. Not a unison. We don't need just simply one voice and one mind. The diversity of thought is good. It's helpful. Unison is not what's necessary. Somebody said contrast is the mother of clarity. So when we have different thoughts and different ideas to help think all the way through a situation to make sure that it's the best decision, we don't need unison, but we do need unity. An ability to work together and to listen to each other and trust. So I pray that will happen even this evening, that there will be a unity of spirit, of a desire for the best determinations of whatever needs to be considered. May there be humility to listen, a commitment to the just and right and righteous thing, a compassion for the needs, and just open ears and open hearts. Friendship and relationship that we can lean on each other and trust each other, that we're all trying to go for the correct common goal, which is the good of this community. So, Lord, one request, just watch over this meeting, and you do care. You put Joseph in a position to be able to help protect his people in a time of famine. You gave Esther the courage to stand and make a stand even when it was uncomfortable. You gave David the ability to protect people and to bring safety into his nation. You gave Solomon the wisdom to expand a nation, expand the community and the wealth and the well-being of everyone. Lord, you care about what goes on in this room. You care about the decisions that need to be made here tonight. So please bring the wisdom and determine the courage, the determination to do the right things in all of these things. Lord, thank you so much again for these servants of our community. Bless them in the things that they do, and bless our community, we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Would everyone please stand and face the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hester and Commissioner Barrow, greatly appreciated. I'm not sure who's Esther and who's David and who's Joseph and so forth up here, but we will try to pay attention to the guidance they're presented. Gentlemen, you've had the agenda for more than 10 days and a chance to look at it. If there are adjustments, I'd like to hear for them, or a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Motion made. Seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Those opposed by nay. You've also had the consent agenda. And for those listening, the consent agenda includes items that are not felt to be controversial or deserving of significant conversation. However, we can pull those items. If you do have questions about anything on the consent agenda, I would refer you to Lance Metzler, our county manager, and he'll be happy to explain those details. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda or amend it?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion? Second. And a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Those opposed by nay. Public comment? No comment is listed here. Is there anybody that may have walked in since this list was prepared? Since there isn't, we are welcoming Janice Wilkinson, Rockingham County Planning Committee for Older Adults. She's going to have a presentation for us. And it's good to see you, ma'am. How are things over on the Loop?
We're looping very well.
Okay.
Good evening, esteemed Board of Commissioners. I serve as the chairperson of the Rockingham County Planning Committee for Older Adults. We're charged with planning and advocating for the older citizens of the county by overseeing the disbursement of the home and community care block grant funds. Through this grant, we work with 3 funded partners. ADTS is the Aging, Disability, and Transit Services, and 3 senior centers. Garden of Eden, Our Care, and Madison Maiden Senior Center. We review how funded partners spend their monthly home and community care block grant funds to ensure they are good stewards. It is essential to the committee that we have representation from each township so that all voices are equally heard. We also look forward. What should we be planning for in our county to support our citizens? We must look for how our county can support us as we age, beyond services and programs. That is why our members are involved with initiatives such as Livable Communities, specifically Livable Rockingham. I'm delighted to have 4 members of our planning committee, members engaged with this effort for Rockingham to become a livable community. There are 2 co-leads. One of Livable Rockingham, one Ashley Cooper. She's the Community Outreach and Developmental Director from ADTS, and Lindsay Pegg. She's the Rockingham County Tourism Director. I appreciate their bosses for allowing them to help spur the creation of a livable community. These 2 directors, Kathy Powers from ADTS and Lee Cochran, Rockingham County's Economic Director, vision that whether a person is young or old, starting a family or a business, livable communities provide a host of appealing advantages that enhance the quality of life of residents, the economic prospects of businesses, and the bottom lines of our county government. Before I wrap up my report, I would like to highlight the good works of our funded partners. We all know that this county's population is aging, and these organizations, programs, and resources are vital in supporting the ever-increasing needs of older adults. ADTS is celebrating its 50th anniversary of supporting adults and their caregivers in the county. They employ 300 staff countywide and provide services to more than 10,000 people annually. One of the many services that ADTS provides is Meals on Wheels. ADTS is always looking for ways to meet the needs of our aging population. With funds raised from our community, ADTS purchased a temperature-controlled truck to serve our community's most vulnerable homebound seniors on the county's western side. As we know, face-to-face contact is as important to the client as the meal. These meals and services promote the independence, dignity of the older adults and help our neighbors remain healthy, secure, and involved at home and in the community as long as possible. Our 3 senior centers also play a vital role in keeping older adults healthy, engaged, and independent in our community. One of our senior centers' many services and activities is Senior Games. For the creative seniors in our community, Silver Arts provides an opportunity to share their artistic talents. Thank you all, commissioners, for understanding these funded partners' value to the older adults and their caregivers in our community. In these remarks, I hope you are, as commissioners, understand this advisory committee's commitment to you and to the county it serves. I would like to invite you to our meeting, which is going to be in this room, May 24th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Any questions for me?
Well, I want to thank you personally. I'm very well aware of there, and Commissioner Hall has also been involved in what your committee's up to. And I think it's far too easy to overlook senior citizens and others that need some assistance of various type. So Ashley and Linda, thank you for being here tonight. Moral support and that stuff that you do on a regular basis, it means a lot to our county. In lieu of question, would anybody make a motion to approve the report as presented? Moved by Commissioner Barrow.
Second.
And seconded by Commissioner Hall. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Those opposed by nay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Mr. Derek Southern, you're up for item 8, our Assistant County Manager.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm here tonight for a request to appropriate money for 4 different types of purchases. As part of us going through the budget this year, we know the upcoming budget's going to be tight, and we were asked to make sure that if there was any funding in this current budget that we could use to reduce any expenses next year. So that's what these requests are. The first request, and my plan is to go through each one of these if you have any questions, and then one approval at the end for all 4, unless otherwise instructed. Okay. So for the Board of Elections, the request came in through their budget cycle for the replacement of 65 printers. These are the printers that go out at the voting sites during the voting days. There are 15 different locations. Each site averages around 4 printers, some less or more depending on population areas, and there's normally a spare at some of those locations. The current fleet of printers is at a minimum 10 years old. Some of those are up to 20 years old. We are starting to see hardware issues with them and caused a lot of calls during our last election early in the morning. We are also seeing with modern computers that their drivers are no longer working with the older printers, and we can't make them plug and play, which causes a lot of heartache for our staff that are working election days. The funds are being requested from unspent printing supplies this year. Apollos did an outstanding job of making sure she utilizes those funds for printing wisely, and had some unspent funds this year, so the request is to use those for the purchase of these printers at a total of $9,750. The second request was for DSS. During their budget cycle, they requested 4 vehicles. We looked at the vehicles they were requesting. 2 of them were 2008 Ford Focuses. 2 were 2012, I believe, Caravans. The Caravans are 185,000 plus miles, and they're averaging 1,200 miles per month, and they're starting to give us some problems, and expenses are going up. The Focuses are a little less used because they're not practical for placing families or multiple siblings in the car, and it's just not rooms for their supplies, so they're not utilized as much. The request for this is for a total of $175,000. The money will be used from the Work First program, which was on hold part of the year due to the public health emergency. That program has since started, but there's funds left over in that account that are MOE funds. So we do get a 50% reimbursement for that. And due to these capitalized, it'll be over a 4-year depreciation. So half of this request we will get refunded from the state over 4 years. The next request is for public health education. This is for a 2002 Malibu. It is currently not being driven due to transmission issues. We are requesting a public health escrow account, which is funds that they have. It is not that is extra each year that are moved into an escrow account to be used for one-time purchases. The reason also we're requesting is they're needing more space. They're doing their public health education events, and they have a little trailer that they pull that carries all their supplies to set up for these events, and it doesn't quite work in a car. And then and that is a total of $31,897 out of the Public Health Escrow Fund. And then the final request is for the fire marshal. It's a Ford F-250. It is a high mileage and currently in the shop with over $4,000 of repairs. She is currently driving the spare vehicle from a vacant employee, which today we had multiple interviews, so we're expecting to have that hired on soon, so we would be short of vehicles. So we're asking for this fund to be coming out of fund balance to replace this, because we don't think it's wise use of funds to replace this truck with the repair cost and due to the high mileage that it is currently. And that'll be a total to purchase truck and outfit it with all the lights and supplies for a fire marshal. It's $60,587. Are there any questions?
Mark, I have a question. I just wanted clarification. Did you just say that you didn't think it'd be wise to repair the vehicle?
That is correct.
Okay, I thought I misheard you. Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Mr. Chair, tell us about the printers. Are these laser printers? Are they inkjets, or what are
These
they?
are inkjet printers. Those are smaller, more residential model. And the reason is we're not going with larger laser jet is these roll out on carts on election day, and the volunteers I guess they're paid, but they have to take them out of those carts and set them up, so they can't be heavy due to the population is helping us during elections. So they are smaller ones that are used for that.
Change your hats into our IT guy. You think this is the best way to go with the printers?
Yeah, absolutely. My staff in the IT world is the one that supports this. This is the largest number of calls that we get on election day. There's no question. And the reason we're asking for these to be purchased all at once instead of doing this over years is training. And you got to remember the people that are coming in to help with election days, we need things to be as consistent as possible. We don't need different models at different sites and things like that. We need everything to be very standardized. Because our turnaround, we shut down a polling site because they can't print, is not what we want to be doing.
Commissioner Hall, you had something else?
I did, but I'm a little.
If I could follow up. So just to be clear for everybody at home, these printers, these are like when you go to vote, they'll ask you what your name and address is, and then they print out a piece of paper and you sign it. That's what these
That is
printers are for?
correct.
These aren't printing ballots or anything? Okay,
No,
thanks.
sir.
Nothing from the room? Mr. Manager, anything to add?
No, he pretty much nailed it. The only ones that you're actually going to use fund balance from would be the emergency services vehicle. All the other ones are either funded through their existing budget or from another fund.
That's correct.
And I believe each of the vehicles being purchased is in line with our capital plan as far as the vehicle purchases moving forward. It'll replace one for next year, right?
That's correct.
And this actually helps us over a long time stabilize some in the fire marshal office and things like that. It helps us stop a lot more purchases at once.
We can either pay for them now or pay for them next year in the budget, and we thought this year would be better because next year's going to be so tight.
Further questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Those opposed by nay.
Thank you,
All
gentlemen.
four items approved, sir. And I would like to thank those folks who, Paula and the rest of you that came out to be prepared to answer our questions, and I'm glad it went that smoothly. Mr. Manager, new business.
No, sir.
Commissioner comments, starting with Commissioner Barrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today is a bittersweet day for the people of Eden. Today, Terry Vernon, the Park and Recreation Director for the City of Eden, is retiring. He's been a pillar of the community for a long time. I was raised up at the Boys and Girls Club with Terry Vernon, and he affected my life in a great way, as well as our district attorney's life and the lives of hundreds and probably thousands of other children. Terry started with the Boys and Girls Club back in 1974. graduated from ECU in 1981 with a degree in public health and education. He was at the Boys and Girls Club for 26 years before he started with the city back in 2007, where he served until today. So Terry, enjoy your retirement. You'll be very much missed. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell.
Yes, I'd like to inform everyone that on June the 24th, the Hunting and Fishing Advisory Committee is hosting a tubing day rafting day down the river. We'll start at Madison River Park. We'll start at 11 o'clock. We're feeding the kids. This is for 4th grade and up. If you have someone that's under the age of 4th grade, you see us because we can make exceptions if a parent's there with them. You will be asked to sign a release. We'll feed the kids at 11. We'll put them on the river at 12, and we'll take them out probably around 2:30 or 3. It's going to be a great day. The Sheriff's Department's going to be there. EMS is going to be there. Rescue Squad's going to be there. So we're going to have plenty of people to help out with this. You should start seeing that appear on the county's website shortly. You can go out and register your child, and then we'll do the waivers on site when the child arrives. So looking forward to this, and please spread the word. We're going to get the word out to the schools so that they can inform the students there. But we want a big day. So it's the first 60 that sign up, so it is limited to some degree. 60 is probably all I want to help chaperone anyway. But 60 kids, and we need some adults to help out with this as well. So if you're interested, see one of the county commissioners, or see Susan, our clerk. She can take your name and number, and we look forward to this. It'll be a big day for the kids in our county. Thank you.
Mr. Berger.
I want to certainly extend a big thank you to Terry Vernon and all the time that he gave to the Eden community and the kids of that community. Also want to mention that we are heading into, I guess you can say, the playoff season for spring sports. So I want to wish all of our high school spring athletes good luck during the playoffs. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize our Sheriff, Sam Page, who's in attendance tonight. Thank you for being here. I also like to recognize Paula Rakestraw with our Board of Education. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you guys being here and being interested in our community. So thank you very much for your service. Reverend Hester, thank you for giving the invocation tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks to all of you for being here. I'm going to tell you something that's rather obvious as we approach the summer season. It is prom season, as you may have observed, especially those of you that are buying these very economical dresses for your daughters and granddaughters and so forth. It's also graduation season and vacation season and recreation types like Commissioner Powell was talking about. And I think it behooves us all to be vigilant in terms of safety. And I'm sure the sheriff and our EMS and all the service organization would appreciate any effort that we can make to keep all of our citizens alive and well. Right. Is there anything else?
No, sir.
I'm listening for an emotion. Motion to adjourn and a second. Further discussion here, none. All in favor indicate by the sound of aye. Aye. Those opposed by nay.